So we are going to do these little butterfly earrings with flowers. So they're going to be really cute. And then we're going to make a conquering necklace. So we're using the original formula for this, and we are going to pour a background in this first. And then we're going to use some pressed flowers. So let's go ahead and pour our background. We're using our Stay Put tray, so we're going to make sure that it's nice and tight. Everything is nice and tight. And we're just going to pour our original formula down. We're going to let it level. And we're going to do that in the oval necklace as well. All right, now we're going to take our little silicone brush and we're just going to kind of move it to the edges just to help it a little bit. Since we want the layer to be very thin, we have to work slowly. Try to prevent any air pockets from getting trapped up against the side. That's where they like to hide the most. I always kind of go in a circular motion. That way, if there are any air pockets, it'll circulate them to the center, which helps a lot. The less bubbles that you have to remove, the better. Once you get the background done, it's pretty easy. Just want to make sure that your layer isn't too thick. All right, I'm going to help out my oval over here. It's almost done on its own. I'm just going to make sure it gets all the way around. All the sides touching. We want it to look like glass. I'm going to run some heat, pop any bubbles. So we are going to go ahead and start our cure. So we're going to use the magic cure. We're going to use it on the lowest setting first. And that is the 6 watts setting. That way it's curing very slowly. We want it to cure as slow as possible. That way, I mean, because the metal is a conductor, it gets really hot. So we just want to make sure that we get a really nice glass-like finish with these. So we're going to put it on 6 watts and we're going to let that go for about 30 seconds. And then I'm slowly going to start titrating up in wattage. All right, now I'm going to flip this over and we're going to cure for 60 seconds on the other side. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm going to peel that away. And we have these nice little backgrounds to work with, which is super nice. So now we're going to be able to put our flowers down right in there. And here's what the conquering looks like. You can see it looks like glass. That's how clear it is. No bubbles. You could maybe make your own readers if you wanted to. So that's how clear that formula is, which it just makes it very easy to work with. So now I'm going to soak this flower in a little bit of resin. We call it flooding. All right, I'm going to warm my resin up just a little bit to make it a little bit easier to do. All right, so I've warmed up my resin to make it a little bit more runny. That really helps flood the flowers a little bit better. We are going to trim this flower in half. I'm going to use some tweezers. And we're going to pick the best place to trim it, which is right here. So we're going to go half in one and half in the other, and I might have to trim it down to fit. So you want to trim it before you put it in, otherwise it's going to be really hard to do. And you got to decide if you like the rounded out.
Oh, that's pretty.
I kind of like the rounded out. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So I'm going to trim this off just a little bit so that it fits really well. And you have to do it very carefully because they're very delicate. And then we're going to place it. And then we're going to trim this one. We're close. So by flooding it, it's going to allow all the air to get to the top, which is nice because then you're not trapping air bubbles inside your piece. So I'm going to try to find a really small flower to put in that corner to give it a little bit more pop of color. That?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's break that in half.
Rabbit's Rule, yes we do. I'll pin those butterflies for you. We have them in both gold and silver.
And they're so cute. All right, so we got a couple little flowers down there. All right, so I'm just going to add a little bit more resin to the top. All right, so we are going to start the cure here. So while those are curing, let's talk about our little oval that we're going to do.
Yeah.
Should we do these little pink ones maybe?
Yeah, let's do those.
With a little bit of green in there.
I love it.
All right. So I'm going to start pulling my wattage up a little bit. All right, we're going to go up to full wattage. We're going to go 60 seconds, and then I'm going to flip it over and do another 60 seconds because you want to make sure that you're getting the resin from both sides. The light can't get through those flowers, so it's important to make sure that we are curing everything within the blank. All right, so we got 30 seconds left on that. So while that's curing, let's go ahead and flood the flowers for our bezel. All right, got those flooding. All right, let's turn these over. We'll give them about 60 seconds. And then we will finish them up and do our little lovely little bezel. I just can't get over how clear that is.
I know, right?
It's like glass. Okay. These are so cute. Perfect. These look good. So we're going to have to strategically place this flower. And then we're going to do the bottom portion. Just like that. And then we're going to add a little bit of UV resin just to make sure everything is encompassed in resin. And then we will cure this, and then we'll do another top coat to dome it. All right. Since this isn't the final coat, we're just going to go 60 seconds at 36 watts. And while that's going, let's go ahead and put our earrings together. There's one.
Ooh, Lillian has the pink magic cure.
Ooh, nice. Great. All right, I'm going to flip this over. We're just going to do 30 seconds on the other side. Make sure I didn't miss any. Let me get my conquering finishing brush. If you guys are making the conquerings, this brush is my go-to. It's very, very good for the top coat because it's very, very light. Doesn't have much pressure at all. And
Peachy Baby asks, hello, do these pendants yellow over time?
They do not. This formula does not yellow. This is UV resin. Now, all epoxy will yellow over time. It's not really... You can try to prevent it or slow it down, but it does yellow eventually, a little bit at least. But our UV resin does not yellow. That's pretty much what it's known for, actually. Which is why I make all my jewelry with this formula. I don't even use epoxy anymore for any of my florals or any of my preservation. I don't use epoxy because I want it to look the way that it is right now forever. Yeah. All right, we're slowly moving up in wattage. All right, so we are up to full wattage now on this final coat. So you guys will be able to see what this looks like. And then it's going in this classic necklace. We have a couple different necklaces. This is one of them. So we're going to put that bezel right down in this necklace and make this a little gift. All right, I'm going to cure this for about 20 more seconds. All right. All right, guys. Here's the final.
So pretty.
But this is what our UV resin looks like, and it will continue to look like this. So I'm going to set this in here. I'm going to let it cool off, degas a little bit before I start messing with it, and then I'll put it inside this necklace, and it'll be good to go.